Trump may be more likely to get a deal from Russia if he backs Ukraine's resistance. Donald Trump may be more likely to get a peace deal from Russia if he places Ukraine in a position of strength, according to analysts. Well, that's a very dangerous outlook, isn't it? The president-elect said his priority is to end the war in Ukraine and stop what he believes is a drain on U.S. military resources. On Wednesday, he selected retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg as a special envoy to Ukraine and Russia, where he will lead the drive to broker peace talks in a move that may concern the U.S. European allies, with Kellogg previously having suggested handing over Ukrainian territory to Russia. Military and political leaders in Europe are warning that a deal that hands too much to Russia will likely just be a prelude to further conflict. Analysts told Business Insider that a meaningful peace deal can only be brokered by backing Ukraine and ensuring it can negotiate from a position of strength. John Lowe, Associate Fellow of the Russian and Eurasian Program at Chatham House, said abandoning Ukraine could make Trump appear weak and embolden the U.S.'s main global competitors. If he abandons Ukraine and says, "I'm not going to fund this anymore, the U.S. does not need this," and as a consequence the Russians make a strategic advance in Europe and take a further step to dismantle the U.S.-led security order in Europe, that would undoubtedly look weak, said Lowe. Instead, says experts, Ukraine must be placed in a position to deter Russia. In recent months, Russia has exploited Ukraine's lack of manpower and artillery. At the same time, it intensified its drone and missile attacks in Ukraine cities. Kellogg's position is more complex than that of President Joe Biden, who backed arming Ukraine to push Russia back and left it up to Kiev to decide when to negotiate. And instead, Kellogg argues that Ukraine's aid should be cut if it refuses to negotiate with the Kremlin, but U.S. aid to Ukraine should be boosted if Russia will not take part in talks. Evelyn Farkas, executive director of the McCain Institute in Washington, D.C., in an interview with CNN Wednesday, warned that Putin has little incentive to seek peace with Ukraine if he believes support for Kiev is weakening. If President Trump is credible in basically threatening to provide Ukraine with what it needs to retake territory and to hold on to the Russian territory, then that puts pressure on Putin because this war is not popular in Russia, said Farkas. So every day that he has to wait, and if he thinks that Ukraine now has time on its side, meaning President Trump will back Ukraine, he will then be more motivated to seek a deal. Ultimately, achieving a lasting peace deal in Ukraine will depend on deterring Russia, not on walking away. Any deal is still going to involve U.S. support in some form to keep the peace, and Ukraine needs to maintain effective armed forces to deter further Russian aggression, said Lowe. This is from Business Insider on DNYUZ. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.